Everybody, as you can see, I am joined by the mighty Dave from Hawk Wargames. It's the moment we've all been waiting for. We're getting a look inside the two-player starter set for Dropfleet. Sorry, I had to let that out there. So, Dave, it's been a long road to get here.
It has, yeah.
It looks fantastic.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a long time, a lot of work, but it's finally here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Well, let's give everybody a quick look at some of the stuff that's coming in the box, all right? So we'll start with some of the images that you've sent through to us. So the first thing that we have is the box cover with the beautiful artwork that you guys had done. Was it Patrice did this?
Yeah, that was Patrice. Yeah, there's actually a lot of composite work going on there. So the ship in the foreground on the left is Avenger, the beast model that we bring to shows every now and again.
That is the real life Avenger.
Yeah, but Patrice has done a lot of work on the lighting because it was actually shot at Salute.
Yeah.
That image was shot there because it's 12 feet long, so where do you set it up? So yeah, and there's that one, the Scourge cruiser in there, that's an actual miniature shot of one of the miniatures. The one in the top left is art render, same as the bottom right. So there's a lot of work gone into that image.
It's a beautiful piece. It gives you that real sense of the world you're jumping into. You know, that humanity, you know, the first drop day has happened.
Yeah,
they're moving in. They're ready to fight, but the Scourge are given no ground.
Yeah, right in the middle of it, kind of. That was the feel that we wanted from it.
You've captured it perfectly.
Thanks.
Right. Next image is actually the back of the box. Now I'm doing this specifically because our cameras are set to catch miniatures, but not the actual box itself. So on the back of the box, you're seeing what you're getting in here. So Dave, what else coming in the box?
Yeah, so you've got the two starter fleets for the UCM and the Scourge. That's 3 cruisers and 4 frigates for each. Although this setup is 2 frigates, 2 strike carriers, but strike carriers are frigate-sized and built from the same sprue.
Yeah, you see, that's the modularity of it is something I really love.
Yeah, you don't actually have to build those specific ships. You can build any ship you want from those sprues. So you get those are the miniatures, then you get the full rulebook. Not a small version or anything, it's the full A4, full colour.
Nice. 224
page book.
Yeah, the Beast book.
The Beast book, yeah, which we'll see in there. Yeah, then you've got this actually. This, you know what, this is marginally embarrassing, but kind of funny.
Okay.
This is a placeholder. These 3 images at the bottom there, 2 of them are actually placeholders from the old Drop Zone box.
Really?
This is entirely my fault. I provided digital assets for this. No, the real box does not have the Drop Zone scenery in it. But yeah, you get the full book. There's tokens and templates, and also orbital debris.
Yeah.
Seeing as some of the scenery we actually worked on and added very, very late in the development of the game.
Yeah.
So that was a digital placeholder that was supposed to be replaced later by myself, and I didn't. So that's that's on me, but it's funny anyway.
Honestly, I'm going to put this out there right now. You guys have done such an amount of work on this. It's absolutely insane. Just the levels you've went to get such high quality miniatures in plastic. And it's like, what, 4,000 packages you're sending out?
Yeah, 4,000 orders for the Kickstarter, which is a huge amount of stuff.
Well, if you think that's 4,000 orders that are different sizes, different add-ons, everyone has to be hand-picked, hand-packed, and got right every time. So it's a mountain of work. So I'm going to say this. I forgive you for that.
Yeah,
okay?
it's a minor thing. Probably nobody had noticed it if I hadn't mentioned it. But anyway, it's there. You get the 4x3 foot battlefield, which is 2 posters that are A1. So they've got artwork on the back. If you want to just put them on the wall, or if you want to use them as a gaming surface, that's there. This size-wise in Dropfleet, we've been deliberately semi-loose about the ground scale, but a 4x4 is about the same size as Spain or an average American state. That kind of that's how big your table is roughly, but. You know, if you want to go on Google Earth and, you know, find your state or where you live and make a map of it, you can do that. So
the battle for Ulster.
Because it's cool, but this is the one that you get in the starter set. It's 4x3, which is fine for games with the starter set miniatures. You know, if you go up to tournament level, you need a 4x4. But that's the one you get in the starter set.
Yeah, now I will say, this is looking a lot closer at the world than what I had expected. I had expected to be, you know, really zoomed out, seeing some space in there, but actually seeing a topographical map of what you're fighting over is really cool. It's a nice different
angle. Yeah, it's
because
you can actually, cities, if it's a whole planet, a city is kind of a dot.
Yeah.
Whereas if you've gone to this scale, you know, a future city is going to be quite large and it's going to actually show up. And then you've got things like lakes and things that that they're purely visual. You know, all of the contours and the mountains and all of that makes no difference in game. It doesn't matter. It's just for the look of it.
I don't know, because I'm thinking for the blend between Drop Fleet and Drop Zone, you know, having mountains and stuff on there, you can actually give you a flavour of where you're going to build a gaming table, you know.
Oh, yeah.
If I've got a city right on top of a mountaintop, I'm going to build a nice big winterscape with sci-fi buildings all over the place. And
of course. I mean, it can matter a lot for campaigns, you know, and there's a lot of obviously options you've got there for really cool narrative settings and, you know, one city up in the mountains, another one. You can even have floating cities on lakes, you know, all kinds of awesome sci-fi stuff there that you can work on. You know, so you've got, but all of that is narrative, you know, it doesn't, gameplay-wise, it doesn't matter where you put your cities on the map.
Yeah, well, aside from how easy it is to get there with your stuff.
Oh, yeah, like where it is physically matters hugely, but, you know, whether it's put on a mountain or not doesn't
make a difference. All right, well, let's have a look at some of the minis before we crack open the box. So we've got the Scourge fleet in here. So what are we seeing here?
So you're seeing this as built here. This is just a kind of recommended setup. You know, if you don't know what ships to build, you're a bit bewildered by all the options, just build these. These are nicely balanced against the UCM. They give you a good all-round set of options. There's nothing too weird in here. So you've got the Shenlong heavy cruiser, guns. You've got the Wyvern cruiser on the right there. Missiles, effectively. Very dangerous at close range. You've got the Ifrit on the left with burn-through lasers, which is everybody's favourite fun weapon.
Yes, I'm terrified of them, so if I can get a Scourge one with burn-throughs, I'm doing it.
And then you got 2 Harpies, which are your standard gun frigates, and 2 Gargoyles, which are your strike carriers. And you need to have some of those to score points and win objectives. So you need to build some strike carriers from this box, probably.
Yeah, myself and John have been talking tactics a little bit about what we're going to do, because we have I think it's the captain pledge or the lieutenant, whichever one it is that gets you the 2-player starter sets. Yeah. So we're talking build tactics. I am going, you know, kamikaze run on this. I'm going to be building lots of drop ships, lots of the larger ones with the mothership drops.
The troop ships,
the troop ships.
Yeah, if you've got a troop ship, you don't need as many strike carriers. You know, they're a blend. You mix them up.
Yeah, but no, I'm thinking if I can just get as many boots on the ground as I can, John's not going to shift me. Of course, at that point, John turns and says, "Well, then I'm just going to get orbital bombardment guns everywhere."
Yeah.
So it's that beautiful arms race that we're going to have with this game. Speaking of the UCM recommended build is what?
So you've got the Moscow heavy cruiser in the middle there. All guns, good all-rounder. Berlin on the right, which is the UCM's burn-through cruiser. Again, everyone's favourite weapon a lot of the time. Then the Seattle fleet carrier on the left. So the UCM is a little different because it uses fighters and bombers here. We wanted to give players a taste of fighters and bombers with the recommended build and the 2-player. So you'll learn how to use them without being overwhelmed with too many of them from the start. The Seattle is also a good all-rounder because it's got decent guns too. It's a bit more all-roundish than
it's a carrier that can fight.
Yeah, it is. So it's actually a kind of jack-of-all-trades ship. The Scourge carrier is a lot more like dedicated, proper carrier, and it would have unbalanced the start set a little bit to give them one. So then you've got 2 Toulons, which are your standard gun frigates for the UCM, and 2 New Orleans strike carriers. Which is incidentally, that's the Avenger. That's the big 12-foot model in drop zone scale.
Yeah, if you have ever been to an event and haven't had a chance to stop off at the Hawk Wargames booth, do it just to have a look at it, because it's done to Drop Zone Commander scale. So it's a 10mm scale of that, and it's huge.
Yeah, it's 12 feet long, like 3,000 It's bonkers. Never going to build another one. It'll be at Salute next year.
Oh, you say that.
I'm really not. It's not happening again. It was crazy.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, Dave. Time for the moment everyone's been waiting for. Crack this box open and start showing me all the shinies.
Yeah, this is a nice, heavy box.
Okay, I'm glad I'm not doing this with Warren, because he would hit me over the head with that.
Yeah, it's got a good weight to it.
Yeah.
Let's
if you want to start pulling bits out,
get in there.
Oh, all right. Gonna grab. Okay, so I've got the UCM first. So, that new mini smell.
New mini smell. Yeah.
All right, so don't need that. So we'll have seen these sprues before, but this is just a quick run through so that you can see what you're getting. So first up, you've got your frigate sprue. So in the middle, you've got your 4 main bodies. So this sprue will build 4. Down here, what are these?
These are the rear spine So this is unique to the UCM that you actually have two different types. The strike carrier uses these two here.
Okay.
And the other frigates use the rest of them.
Ah, I see. And then down here we have the little winglets for some of the different
they're the
variants.
ones for the Toulon, because they have different turrets. Then you've got the ones for the Type A, the missile frigate there.
Okay, and then swinging round to the other end of the sprue.
Then you've got the Jakarta with the little point defense lasers.
I'm guessing this is for your New Orleans.
Yeah, those are your dropship doors, effectively.
And these are going to be all the little mass driver
little guns,
turrets?
yeah. Every frigate has one of them, but the Toulon has 3, and they're all posable.
Cool.
Which
Very
is cool.
And then the last thing
And then
here...
you've got those ones for the Ucm Frigate, which is a pretty awesome option. I mean, then that's kind of a more advanced ship. You kind of need to read the rules and work out if it's for you or not. I think it's very good. That's the Lima. It gains the UCM fleet more range, but you can build 2 of any cruiser, of any frigate from that sprue. You can't build 4 of the same. That's the only caveat.
Yeah, but in all honesty, the frigates are going to be such a staple of most armies that you're going to be fit to build multiples of each.
Yeah, and you're going to end up with spares all over the place from building other sets, so it's not really an issue.
Yeah, and it also means that you're not going to instantly come to your starter set and build just a spammy list. You know, you're going to get something nice and balanced.
We try and write games that don't really support that kind of gameplay, and Dropfleet is similar to Drop Zone in that there isn't really a min-max thing.
Yeah.
You know, we'll see how the meta goes because we don't know yet because it's not out. But it's only just starting to get into people's hands, so it's kind of...
Well, there's a lot of happy Kickstarter backers out there that are just getting those wonderful mystery boxes in the post. Now, we get 3 of this sprue, which is our cruiser, yeah?
Yep.
All right, so if we jump into it, so starting from here, I believe this is the top canopy for 2 of the different ones?
Yeah, so the kind of knobblier one is for the heavy cruiser, and the more smooth one is for the standard cruiser.
I believe this is sort of for your sort of citadel piece that hangs in beneath, yeah?
Yeah, they've got quite a little comms and kind of scanner spines that stick out underneath. It's got a distinctive thing with the UCM.
We have the all-important burn-through laser here.
Yep.
We have the main hull of the
main hull
here.
left and right.
We have these, which are some more of the little driver, or the little turrets.
Yeah, they're the medium turrets. They're a little bigger than the ones the frigates have.
Yeah, these are hangar bays, I believe, the top half.
Those are for the Seattle specifically.
And I believe this, I think, is the lower half.
That's the top half as well for the standard cruisers, those ones.
Okay,
because there's a standard underside and 3 different tops. So that's for the standard cruiser. Then you've got the light cruiser one on the other side of the sprue, actually.
Oh, way over here?
That's down there, yeah. That's for... Oh, hang on. No, tell a lie. That's the underside. So if you turn that round, you can actually see the interior detail on there.
That's the one I was on about with the fighters that you've actually sculpted in there.
Yeah, so you can actually see them, but obviously only if you put the fleet carrier one on top, because it's got a big entrance bay, so you can actually look in and see them. If you build a normal cruiser or a light cruiser, you just cover it.
Yeah, and then with the other 2, these are the other canopies
those are your light
for the
cruiser
top
ones.
then.
They're a little shorter. They haven't got the long. That's left and right for the troop ship bay.
Yeah, and then you have this, which is your orbital bombardment pieces.
Yeah, two of those.
Burn someone out of a city.
Very powerful. That's for the Madrid, which is a very good choice potentially. Cheap, actually.
It's crisp. It's clean. It's wonderful. So, the last thing we get in that pack is, I believe these are the Mark III bases?
Yeah, these are the Mark III final bases.
Yeah, so you're getting 3 for your cruisers, 4 for your frigates.
Yep.
You're getting all of the tops for them as well, and then you're getting a ton of extra little spigots because there's something that might get lost.
Yeah, you get 4 per base. We know you're going to lose them, so 4 per base. Also, they're quite nice if you want to paint them to indicate different things, like if it's crippled, you can have a red dot on the top of the pin, in which case you're going to want 2 pins. You know, so we're giving you loads, and then you can do what you need with them.
Well, you see, what I would do is I'd put something you suggested earlier. I'd put a dot paint on the top of them to mark battle groups because of the way things activate in this game.
Yeah, that's also really handy. And if you ever change your list, then you just swap the pin rather than having to like repaint the model or anything like that. That's nice and easy.
Now I'm going to dive in again here.
Yeah.
And tear open the next, because this is what I've been waiting for, the Scourge. Because I've been dying to get my hands on these to actually build and paint. So I'll flip this over because we'll start with our frigate, same as before. So jumping into close camera. So we've got our main bodies, which are actually sculpted on both sides. Now that I like because it's something different, because sometimes you would see these to be sculpted as 2 halves. It's nice to see that as a single piece.
Yeah, it was designed to be the maximum thickness we could possibly do in plastic. There are quite a few restrictions when it comes to design for plastics just because of how it works, but we could do it, which is really cool.
Yeah. We then have these, which are for your drop ships.
Yeah, they're for your strike carriers. Those.
Yep.
The big chunky ones.
Yep. And then moving around, these, I believe.
Those are for the Orbital Bombardment. Those ones there, so they shoot downwards.
These are for.
Those are missiles for close action weapons.
Okay. These.
Those are the weird ones. They fire up. They're reverse gravity weapons.
Okay.
So think about it. Think of it as a kind of missile submarine. So it can go down into atmosphere and then fire up at ships. It's the only ship in the game that can do that viably at the moment, which is really cool, and it's unique to the Scourge.
I'm thinking a couple of these might make an appearance on the tabletop.
Yeah, they're annoying. I mean, they can't move very fast because they're down in they're more like, I'm going to park over this objective city and stay here and annoy you for the whole game.
Well, I mean, like, if John's got stuff that's orbital bombarding, I can just have a couple of these just sneak in. Morning, sir. Boop, boop.
Yeah, they're great for that. And all Scourge frigates can go in atmosphere as well, which is, again, unique to the Scourge. So that's a nice... They can hide and be annoying with their frigates, which is cool.
Nice. And then the last set here?
Standard guns.
Okay.
Oculus weapons, they are, which is standard Scourge kind of gun equivalent, which is like a very short burst energy weapon, more like a kind of BAM rather than a laser that sort of beep.
Yeah.
Excuse the sound effects.
No, I like sound effects. They're amazing. Do more. Okay,
cool.
So that's our frigates. We're on to our cruisers now. So for the cruisers, again, you're getting 3 sprues of this in the box. So our first one, we've got main hull. We've got, I believe, inner wings.
Yep.
We've got this for your troop ship.
Yeah, that's your troop ship pod left and right.
Yep. These are missiles, I think.
Yes, they are. Yeah, those are missiles.
And the little winglet at the front here.
That's for the light cruiser. So all the wings have when
the little ball joint.
That was an inner wing.
Yeah.
So the inner wing has a second ball joint mount there.
Gotcha.
And then those go on there, and there are other types of wings that go on depending on what ship it is. Also, for Scourge, uniquely, they're all posable. So they're on rock joints, so you can pose those wings however you like, just for the look of the thing.
So dry fitting is your friend.
Yeah, you can do that. You can do that. You can do what you like with them. Just play around with the look of the ship, and it's quite cool.
I'm gonna have a play with these, see what I can do that's cool. Okay, moving on. What are these?
Those are for the Hydra, the fleet carrier.
Nice.
For those, which is cool.
I believe this is the top of the head.
Yeah, top of the head. Standard for all the ships.
More winglets. Some smaller outer winglets.
Yeah, those the small winglets, they're actually parts of the heavy cruiser crest, which goes on the front of all the heavy cruisers.
Ah, I see.
Which is also the cloak for it, which Scourge heavies have, which is a cool and cheeky rule that they can use.
All right, well, we'll get into rules a little bit later.
Yeah.
Next up, we have these.
Burn through lasers there.
Nice. These?
Those are... Hang on, they're the other side of the...
Oh, yeah. Whoops.
Yeah, they're the carrier ones again.
Yeah, so you're able to pose those as well on those rocker joints, which is nice.
Those are half of the standard gun parts, and then the other parts are just next to them there.
Yeah, so then is that the crest? Or
yeah,
is
that's
the
other part of the standard gun, so they stick onto there. So they're actually 2-piece weapons rather than one, just because of the shape of them. They couldn't be made in one piece.
Yeah, and then lastly we have this, which is the crest for your heavy.
Top middle of the heavy cruiser crest is there.
The level of detail you've managed to get onto this is incredibly impressive. Even on inner edges where you're not really going to see it, it's there, and if you want to paint these all separately, you could really go to town on this. I'm super impressed.
Thank you. We pushed it to the limits of what we could do.
And of course, you're going to get another set of the Mark IIIs.
Yep.
So, next in the box.
Next, we'll do the fiddly bits next.
Okay.
So you got a sprue of rods for the bases. Nothing particularly exciting there, but those are the rods for the flight stands.
You need to make them fly.
Yeah.
I'll assume we'll have some Hawk widgets in here somewhere.
Yes, they're in the little bits baggy.
Okay. Sure. Yeah. Okay.
2 sprues. We've actually got a new sprue for those. We retooled it.
That I like, because these things, whenever they're loose packed, you can lose them. So having them just on a sprue like that, great bit of design. And you're getting 2 of those. We've then got the ever popular Hawk Wargames mini tape.
Yeah, which we always put in the starter set. People like it, and it's in this one as same as the drop zone one.
Yeah. Well, this one's not going back in. Didn't mind now. Yoink.
They're handy and they're cool. Dice.
Yeah. Dice or dice.
10 dice. Yeah.
You're always going to need some dice to actually start playing your games, and whenever it's a 2-player starter set, just having them in there, it makes life that little bit easier. Same as having a little tape measure that you can just carry around with you, because the number of times that I've turned up to an event or something and forgot to bring a tape measure Having one on a keychain, perfect idea.
Yeah.
Now, the meat.
The flat work.
Okay.
I'm going to get the box out of the way so we've got some space to breathe on here. We're going to need it.
So I'll put this out the way.
I'll put this down there, actually.
All right, now, just a quick question. This is in a Ziploc bag. Is this something you've done for this unboxing? Or
it is, yeah.
Okay.
It's something done for the unboxing.
Okay. So I'm guessing...
The real ones will be shrink wrapped.
All right, cool.
And same with the box will be shrink wrapped as well. It's, you know...
Yeah. Well, this is during the pell-mell of getting Kickstarters out, so...
It is, yeah. I'm actually, as an admission, this is the first day that I've seen that box.
Really?
So it's been in the warehouse for a little while, but I've not seen it until today. So I was like, and it was all assembled here, which is part of the fun of doing these things. But it was cool and enjoyable for me.
All right, first piece of paper component we have is the actual chart and sheet. So I'm guessing this is your pre-build?
Yeah, this is your UCM fast play sheet, which has the recommended build for the UCM ships on there. This is for beginner use. It's got all the stats for all those ships on it, and it's got quick reference for things like the damage tables. There's various things on there. There's a little reminder of the space station weaponry. Yeah. The debris field rules. Basically everything that I thought would be useful that's in table form that I could squeeze onto the back of it is all on there. Yeah.
That is one of the best ideas you could ever have, because the number of times you have to flick back through a bit going, oh, where's that chart? Where's that chart? Where's that chart? Having that just sitting beside you while you play. Great.
Yeah, it's very handy.
So we get one of those for the UCM.
Scourge as well.
And the Scourge pre-build with the exact same on the back. Again, brilliant idea having two of those in the box because it's a two-player starter box. I have one on my side, you have one on your side. Done.
Yeah,
we're not
takes a lot of book flicking away from things, which is always good. And you've also got a guide for your first scenario as well. If this is your first game, this literally tells you where to put all the scenery, exactly what you should put down. Gives you a scenario. It's a modified version of one of the ones in the book, just slightly simplified and done specifically for a 4x3, just to teach you how to play. And it's also got a guide run through of the turn sequence.
Perfect.
So, it'll just prompt you, what do I need to be doing next? Okay, it's time to do this. Yeah. It's just designed for ease, really.
Yeah. All right, now this one is all of our terrain that we're getting so far, yeah?
Yep. There's actually two of those. Or there should be two of those. Yeah, they're on top of each other.
Oh, right.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, they're both identical. And what are we seeing on these?
Okay, so on here you've got fine and dense debris fields, which is these here. And then you've got clusters, which are basically cities. And then on clusters there are areas where you put sectors, which are the things you're trying to capture in-game.
Gotcha.
It's important that these are flat because you're going to be putting ships on top of them a lot of the time.
Yeah, that's why you've made the card nice and thin.
Yeah, because you don't want the ships to wobble on the edge. You just want to put them down nice and flat.
I like the idea of having debris fields in the atmosphere that you're having to fight around, because if you're having a war, there are going to be, bits of spaceship raining everywhere. Oh, yeah, and these planets have been fought over for just under 2 years at this point in the narrative, so there's plenty of dead ships above most planets already, and it's going to hang around a lot of the debris, and it's a problem. All right, next up we have our maps. Well, the map, because it's in two parts. If we get everything folded out. And your poster on the other side as well, actually. So you've got this, which is the lakeside. And then, I want to hang this. I want to frame this and put it up in my living room. I got that one as well. Nice. We're just going to hide behind there. Yeah. Yeah, so that's just up to you what you want to do with these. But they're in there. Yeah. Next up. Ooh. Okay, so next up we have sticker sheets for each faction. So you've got these, which will go into your Mark III bases to actually mark, what altitude you're at and what state you're in. You've then got these, which are going to mark your damage. If you want to trim this out, you've got a sticker of your faction. And then down here, this is a really nice touch. It's all different names for your ships and a few blank ones in case you want to write in your own. Yeah, there's more blank ones on that side, actually. You can't see them because they're white. All right, so there's more trimmed in here? But there's plenty of blank ones too. All the ships, there's a couple of each class, effectively. In the rule book gives you more ideas, so that's not every single one that we've mentioned in the book, but it's about half of them. Yeah. So, you're going to have a sticker for any ship you want to build, which is nice. I'm actually just having a look here at some of the different names you've got. So you've got the Excalibur, the Constitution, the Soldier of Fortune, Aurora, Forgehammer, nice. Yeah, these are the UCM ships, by the way, that's the names. Yeah, what are the names on the... you've got a Scourge one there.
Yep.
Right, I want to have a look at the names. Now, it's the exact same layout, but the names are different. And the thing I like is it's all human names on these, as if it's the UCM naming them.
Yeah, so the way the UCM does it is they pick up a new energy signature of a new ship, and it's the captain's responsibility to name that ship.
Eden's Harpy, nice. Giant Slayer, Slaughterer, Scarlet Path. Oh, these just... They
sound mean and nasty
because
they're Scourge, and a lot of them have got... There's a sort of narrative leaning to it, so some of them, obviously, this ship has done somebody particular harm, and that ship is perhaps named after a captain that ship killed.
Yeah,
or
there's a lot of things like Eden's Bane, so it's probably been hanging around the Eden system, just causing havoc.
Yeah, exactly. It gives you that narrative edge to the Scourge, which obviously, UCM have no idea what they call their own ships because they don't even know what their language is.
Yeah.
So it's
have we ever actually seen the Scourge language?
No. They kind of it's sort of a form of telepathy, so they don't actually speak to each other. They can.
I mean, written.
Written? No, not yet.
Okay.
Not yet. It's fair to say they've got a written language, but we haven't actually covered that yet.
Okay. Next up.
Then you've got. I'll just get these out of the way.
Yeah.
You've got your instructions.
Build guides. So we've got one for our frigate.
Yeah, that's
as well
the
as a
second. That's the back.
how to
Actually,
put this together.
You turn it up the other way.
Oh, right. So I've got it.
Yeah, they're all double-sided.
So step 1, step 2, step 3. These will go together really quick, but look at
them. The Scourge Frigate is really simple. That's one of the simplest kits in the whole range. Very, very simple, that one.
Yeah.
Scourge Cruiser there.
Yeah, so this one I want to spend a little bit more time on because this is one that's got so many options to do stuff with.
Yeah, so it'll tell you when it's an option. You know, you go as far as A3 for all of them, and then you start getting into the options.
And then flicking it over, you have every possible weapon combination you could desire. And again, showing you how to put together that all-important base.
Yeah.
I do like the cleanliness of having a base marking, your altitude, your damage and stuff like that. It keeps the table clear. And
there's no tokens to follow your ships around except for special things like engine failures and things like that.
Yeah. Okay, so next up we have our frigates for the UCM. Again, they look really quick to put together because you've got your main one, and you'll always put the one turret on, I assume?
Yeah, you always have one turret.
Yep, you'll have the 2 types of rear engined pod, and then on the other side, you start adding in your weapons. So the Toulon, Jakarta, and the New Orleans.
That's all there. Yeah,
really
there's also
clear.
all of these has a little recommended paints box as well, which are just literally ones that we've used for the studio models. We're not partisan on paints, it's literally what we've used is what we've put on there.
Right, last one we have is of course for the UCM frigate, or not frigate,
the cruiser.
Cruiser. So again, this is one you're going to spend a little bit more time on because you're kind of needing to build up to, again, A3, and then you're going to start picking out your options for what you're going to be putting onto the ship, and then working further down into the final class of the ship.
Yeah, just because of the number of options, all these guides, especially for the cruisers, look a little bit more complicated than they actually are, because you're really only doing 4 of those steps for any one ship.
Yeah. So basically, I'm going to put my main hull together, I'm going to put on all my extra little bits, I'm then going to put on that first lower part of the engine pod, and then from there on, I'm deciding and building down further.
It's just weapon options. It's put on 2 turrets. I mean, a lot of people are going to magnetize certain options, and that's entirely up to them if they want to do that. That's an option there.
Yeah. Next thing.
Then we've got these are a late inclusion. Actually, we didn't advertise that these would be in the 2-player, but they are. These are very simple, just to get you started. Activation cards. You need to cut these out. They're just into 4. It's pretty basic. There's a cutting guide on them.
And I'm assuming this is built for your
they're pre-filled in for the recommended builds, and there's one blank one as well. So if you add any more ships, if you want to change one of them, you can do that and experiment with the blank one.
Nice.
Which is nice, and they match the retail versions in look.
Perfect.
Obviously the retail ones are actual cards and come in a deck.
Again, there's no hold up of going, how does this work? No, I've got
it's just designed to
right
make
there.
your first couple of games easier. Because activation cards are quite important, and having them there just makes your life easier.
Yeah. Well, I remember whenever the Kickstarter was around, we did a little 3-video series going through each of the steps. So if you're curious about that, there will be links to those in the comments or in the post below. Next up,
token sheet.
Token sheet. Okay, so this is very important now. So I'm guessing these are different types of clusters.
These are sectors.
Sectors. Sorry.
Yeah. So these this is one of the changes we made quite late. Is there used to be only 3 types, and now there are 6.
Okay.
I added the extra ones quite late.
Okay.
And that actually includes those on the token sheet, which is cool. Like the big orbital gun, the nuclear power station, the comms relay, which all have rules and effects in game. They're a little bit more advanced than they're in the later scenarios, but they're on the sheet anyway in the starter set. Then you've got...
It's nice to have. Okay, next up, I'm guessing this is different stats effects?
Yeah, various things that you get from the crippled table. Things like orbital decay and armor cracked, fires. You know, it's generally pretty obvious. There's that scanners offline, weapons offline, engines offline.
Yeah.
You won't find you're using too many of those. You know, like once or twice you might have one of those down. But obviously we give you all of them.
It's just as a reminder piece because you will be working on through.
Yeah.
Next up, we have the launch assets for bombers and fighters, I'm guessing.
Yep. Yeah, that's enough for a decent sized game. You know, probably if you get up to tournament level, if you take quite a few carriers, you might need a few more than that. But
we've then got our troops. So we've got tanks, men on their own, and defense symbols.
Yeah, men on their own is just that's free infantry tokens, and that's one infantry token, just to save you having to put down quite as many tokens.
And then we've got the two colours there: green for UCM, purple for Scourge.
Yeah, and just slightly different tints, so you can tell. These are deliberately very abstract, so you can see from a really long way away what they are. Yeah, you know, they're abstract, you know, but they do the job of being very clear.
It's that clean symbology. If I'm looking at this going, okay, I'm seeing 3 guys there, that must mean there are 3 guys there. Yeah. You know, if I'm seeing tanks there, that means, okay, there must be heavy armor there. Yeah. You know, if I'm seeing the shield, that I'm not so sure.
That's defense battery, that one.
Okay.
Yeah. So. You won't be dropping too many of those, but, you know, none of them in the starter set games, but there's a few of them on here. Okay. So if you build a troop ship, you need them, because only troop ships can drop them. So they're quite specialist.
Yeah, in all honesty, that token set alone, it looks great, but I'm also looking forward to seeing... I have some friends who are handy with their laser cutters, and doing some nice clear acrylic things of those are going to look gorgeous. Oh yeah, of course, and you know we have options of our own for that, and people will make independent ones, you know, and we're always in favour of that sort of thing. It just gives people choice. It's gaming aids. You know, everybody loves gaming aids of all shapes and sizes. Okay, next up,
the book.
Give it.
Yeah.
So. Some of you lucky gits out there got to have a look at this while you were at an early release event at Hawk HQ. Yep. I've not had a gander at this just yet. So I thought, hang on, was this not meant to be a landscape? It is a landscape book, but it comes in a portrait box. Okay. This serves 2 purposes, really. One, it just keeps it rigid when it's on the shelf. And 2, most retailers are set up to display books in portrait. Gotcha. So obviously they can put it on the shelf alongside all their normal books, and it doesn't cause them problems. Got it. All right, well, let's pop it open. Come here. Got it. I'll get this out of the way. Oh, that is just beautiful having the Avenger on the cover. Yeah. So, the book itself, as you can see, it's got a really nice look to it. I'm going to push some of the miniatures we have here out of the way because I don't want to hit the studio paints and do damage. Let's just start having a quick flick through here. So we've got that original piece of artwork that first sort of gave us a view into the world here with all your contents. As we jump through, there's lots of story, lots of fluff in here telling you what's happening in different systems. Again, more beautiful artwork of actually seeing ships in action, more ships in action. Space stations. Yeah, you're getting into the rules now. Yeah, so we're seeing how space stations and stuff work here, I'm thinking. Yep. Some of the ship's orders. We're having a look at some of the arcs. It's so heavy duty, and then we're actually getting a look at some drop zone commander. Oh yeah, this is in the drop zone Dropfleet integration section, which there is for campaigns and all that kind of thing. Nice. All right. Now a little birdie told me there was one major change that you made, and it was something I suggested to you whenever we were first recording for this. Yeah. Now I want to bring it up here just because I want everybody to know it. So it probably has been mentioned before, but I want to mention it again. Which is, there are now ramming rules in the game. Yes, okay, so ramming was something that originally, like, fluff-wise, I've always been very against the idea of one giant mile-long spaceship crashing into another mile-long spaceship at X thousand miles an hour. Yeah. That's just going to result in white light and nothing else, and everyone's dead. And the actual chance of that happening is tiny. So we didn't have ramming in the rules originally because we try for a reasonable degree of realism. But ramming is really fun. Everybody loves ramming, and so many times from so many gamers it's like, oh, I wish you could get ramming in there. So in the end, I kind of looked at it from a fluff standpoint and thought, how could I get ramming into this game? And the way it is that you're not actually
ramming another ship, you're just getting really close to like point blank weapons range. You're perhaps detonating the drives.
Oh.
It's an incredibly dangerous thing to do as a ship's captain.
Kill?
Yeah, okay, so the way it works, this is a biggie. You can't just ram. You have to be nearly dead for one.
Okay.
You have to be down to 2 hull points or less, and it has to be a cruiser or larger.
Right.
Frigates can't ram because they're just, as soon as they get close, they're just dead.
Yeah, the point defense, you just shred them.
So it's a desperate act. Ramming will destroy your ship. You will not survive.
Yeah, so
that's the first off. You will die.
So I will die, but will I take him with me?
So you dice off, 1 dice, 3+. If you fail it, you just die. If you succeed, you do a number of lock 3+ hits equal to your original starting hull value, which is disgusting if it's a battleship, because that's 22 lock 3 dice, which is pretty much death for anything except possibly another battleship. Like it's gonna really hurt. You know, but of course pulling that off is not easy, and it's not something you're gonna see all the time. But every now and again you might just be, right, I'm gonna do it, you know.
Yes. Helmsman, ramming speed.
Yeah, it's a suicide move effectively, because closing to that kind of distance with an enemy ship is just not something that you would normally do safely, and you know it's going to result in death regardless.
It makes sense that you know the ship's burning around you, it's almost dead, and it's just that last hurrah. So I like the way you've locked it out to say you have to have two hull points or less to actually go for it.
Yeah, because it's a risky thing, and no captain is going to do that with their undamaged ship. You know, they're much better off just using all the weapons on that ship that are designed to destroy other ships. It's kind of, but it is fun, and it's now in the rules back due to popular demand, and I was talked round on it, and frankly I did have a lot of fun with Battlefleet Gothic back in the day ramming. I did play Imperial Fleet, so I had a lot of ramming ships. It was a very different game obviously, but you know it's in there now. There's a lot of other changes that we actually covered in the Weekender. We covered the book in a lot more detail there. Yeah, no,
I just wanted to get that one in there because it's such a
it's cool.
And anyone that missed the Weekender, I wanted them to know you can now ram.
You can now ram. Yeah, you can. And also there's a lot of other big changes, like scenery is probably the biggest actual change to the game.
All right.
Since the beta, there's a lot more. The beta was, obviously it's a beta, so there are things missing. So there are now debris fields.
That's where you fine tune. But now that this is going out into the public's hands, this is the ultimate beta test, the ultimate test of Mr. Andy Chambers' glorious gaming, genius. Yeah. The ultimate test of your modeling genius. Yeah. And just seeing who can come up with the coolest stories for Dropfleet Commander. yeah,
and there's things. There's now debris fields. There's planetary rings. There's moons. Space stations are quite a big part of the rules. And space stations are really cool.
All right, well, everybody, I'll tell you what. If you missed the Weekender interview, go and check it out. There will be a link to it in the post below this video. Myself and Dave are going to move on here. Oh, actually, no, we're not. We're not. Because I forgot. We have built and painted versions.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, so the actual...
I will quickly
we might as well have a quick pass
of
of these. Yeah. These have been on here before, but they're now in their completed glory on their proper bases and everything.
They're so pretty.
With the labels and everything, you've got all the ship names.
New Orleans, we're seeing... Who is this?
That's the Moscow. That's the Rubicon. Moscow. That one is named. Yeah, that one's the Berlin. The Seattle there.
I love the way it looks, and you can just about see the launch assets just ready to fly out of this one. We then jump on to some of the Scourge.
Oh, you got the frigates here.
Oh no, I already showed frigates.
Yeah, you got the 2 Toulons.
All right, so you've got 2 Toulons.
Yeah,
I say 2 Toulons. Okay.
Yeah, onto the Scourge.
Onto the Scourge, the important stuff.
That's the Ifrit with the Bemfrews. That's a good way of actually showing how the wings can be posed, because this one's the opposite of that one. Right. So that's your Wyvern, the one on the left.
So whereas this one, the wings are all sort of rocked back
that's
the way,
Ifrit.
This one's got them rocked forwards.
Yeah, it just changes the look, but I think it looks cool either way. It's up to you.
It gives them a really nice sort of organic feel to them.
Yeah, they'll be moving those fins to manoeuvre in a planet's gravity. That's what the fins do. Yeah. There's actually a whole chunk in the rulebook about all the tech and how all the different bits of the ship work and what they do. So there is just this sort of reasoning behind it all. That's the Shenlong, the heavy cruiser.
It's just beautiful looking.
With
and
the crest.
Then the frigates.
Then you got the 2 gargoyles.
Yeah.
Strike carriers.
If you see these going towards a sector, shoot now. Do not let them get close.
Yeah, kill them, or you have to use corvettes to kill them when they go down to atmosphere, because they're really hard to kill otherwise. Yeah. And then you've got your 2 standard harpies. That's your normal gun frigates.
They look really fast and really predatory.
Yeah, they're very fast. All Scourge frigates are very speedy things.
Yeah. Well, guys, tell you what, we're going to call it for this video. Get your comments in below. Are you looking forward to your future games of Dropfleet Commander? Dave, I can't wait. I just cannot wait.
Thank
guys,
you.
we will move on. We will see you in the next video.
Thank you.